And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Guys, today we're going to be discussing the scenes last night, of course, in various cities across the United Kingdom, London, Manchester, and wherever it may be, seeing, of course, the Pakistani Independence Day celebration, street parties, carnage, and, of course, police losing control of the situation as carnage erupts. Now, we spoke about it yesterday, and I spoke about the glaring double standards with regard to the Birmingham City Council after they, on the same day, removed Union Jacks, removed St. George's flags from the streets because they are hazardous to motorists. Remember that keyword, hazardous to motorists, right? And then, of course, we've seen the library, of course, lit up in Pakistan flag colours. But the scenes you're going to see here today are absolute chaos in a street. You're going to see London buses trying to get through, and we're talking about councils saying that Union Jack flags are dangerous to motorists on the road within this country. But you're going to see this footage. Let's get into it. But as always, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm in the mood for a rant, so we're probably going to get into the thick of it. But do, guys, let me know your thoughts in the live chat and all that jazz. Let's have a watch of the footage from various places in the United Kingdom of Pakistan Independence Day in the UK. So as you can see, absolute carnage, streets filled with celebrations. I've got an awful lot to say on this. Firstly, look at that. The police can't control that. Again, I was thinking at first that these would have been planned, and they would have went ahead, and the council would have gave permission for these individuals, of course, to flood the streets and have these parties. But then on second thoughts, I thought, well, actually, it doesn't look like the roads are closed because buses are trying to get through. So they obviously didn't have permission. They were just there, and there was not enough police presence to shut it down, or at least stop these sorts of celebrations. I don't even see this on St. George's Day. So yeah, whilst the chaos is there and it's absolutely shocking to see, I have more to the point with regard to people celebrating an Independence Day of a country that got independence from the British Empire in 1947 on August 14th. These individuals are living and residing in this country. They obviously love Pakistan, and kudos to them. They absolutely love it. But a lot of them are trying to identify as British. Why are they celebrating Independence Day in the streets of our country? Why is it? If Pakistan is so great, so amazing, why are they not living there and celebrating Pakistan Day in Pakistan? You know, they've left for a reason. They've obviously moved to this country for a reason. And now, of course, I think it's a big FU to British people in Britain as a country that they sit parading in the streets and celebrating this in the streets. Getting independence away from another country. I don't entertain it. I don't like it. I don't care about, yes, I'm an advocate of the British Empire. I love the British Empire, and I do think the world would have been a better place if the British Empire was still intact. However, I have no problem with people out with our country celebrating independence. Do what you want. Go and do what you want. Have a great time. But why on earth are individuals celebrating Independence Day, mass parties like that in the streets of our country, in our country? It makes no sense. It just makes zero sense to me. And people are facilitating it. Birmingham City Council doing things like lighting up the library in Pakistan colours. And I was actually reading the comments last night and asked the question to some of the people in the live stream, maybe from Birmingham, and asked the question, oh, on St. George's Day, was that same library erected in red and white for St. George's Day? And they said, a lot of people said, no, that was not the case. The council didn't light up the library in red and white for St. George's Day. So there's a glaring double standard there, not only with removing the flags on the same day off the lampposts, but of course lighting up another country's flag who got independence from the British Empire in our country. It just makes no sense. I don't know why we do this, and it makes me so angry just talking about it. I just don't get it, and it's going to probably take me ages to really try and understand or try and think about as to why this is actually happening and why people are facilitating and individuals that are there. I just can't get my head in the individuals, you know. Again, if I'm living abroad or whatever, I'm not, well, we don't have an Independence Day, of course, but if there's a St. George's Day, do you see me cutting about the UAE or Indonesia or wherever I go on holiday, flying my flags and having a big party and a sing-song and dance and causing carnage in the host nation that I'm in? No, I'm not. And I don't think anyone else would be doing that as well. So I do find it a massive FU to these individuals that are just doing this in the streets. And now today's Independence Day from India. And now India are lighting up that same freaking building as well. Remember, independence from us. Birmingham City Council were lighting that and celebrating India's independence now from our country. I just don't get who's sanctioning this bullshit. Where British days, or wherever it's St. George's Day, St. Andrew's Day, these days aren't getting celebrated in the country, almost frowned upon for being patriotic in our country. But you can be patriotic of other nations in our country, but you all of a sudden you can't say things. You can't be patriotic about our country within our country. Make it make sense. It makes zero sense. And I'm looking forward to seeing the live chat, you know, Pakistan Independence Day. And this is nothing against just Pakistan, by the way. It's to all the countries that got independence from the UK. If you think causing carnage and celebrating within our nation and our councils facilitating these things, I just find it bullshit. Genuinely, I find it really frustrating. Aloe says the Pakistani community in Birmingham is Pakistan first, UK last. I mean, yeah. I haven't been to Birmingham in 10 years. I think it's longer than that, 12 years, but I won't be going back ever again. I've had a 12-year hiatus from Birmingham. It's been, I've never needed to visit Birmingham ever since. Aloe says they wanted their independence, then moved here for a better life or celebrating their independence from us. Literally insulting us. Mate, that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. That's literally it. You've put it into the right words. They wanted independence. Their country was wanting to stand on its own 2 feet. Again, I suppose the jury's still out. I think there's an argument to be made that they can't stand on their own 2 feet. And again, there's probably an argument to be made that if Britain was still ruling there or still in charge of proceedings in Pakistan, it would probably be a better country. But yeah, they wanted their independence. They didn't fought for it, because Britain would have never lost for such independence to Pakistan. But Britain gave them their independence or whatever. And then the individuals realise in the 1980s, the 1990s, or whenever this huge surge happened, they go, actually, this place is a shit pit. And went, oh, you know what, we're going to go over to Britain now. And now, find themselves celebrating the day of their country that they used to live in, or some of their family heritages from, to celebrate their independence in our streets. Angry. I do get angry. One of these days I'm going to have a full-on meltdown on this channel. Mental. Pangaius says, don't forget to click the like button. Yeah, guys, please do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Shazza says it's so depressing to be British right now. Yeah, I know. What is there to be happy about? Actually, I'll tell you what there's to be happy about. New podcast. We just finished recording the podcast on Point Blank. That'll be up in a few hours, guys. A lot we discussed today as well. So, yeah, if you do want an extra fix, of course, a bit more long-form content, higher quality in the studio and all that jazz, then, of course, do subscribe to the podcast. And, yeah, there's a lot of things going on in that podcast with regard to the boats, about this, Pakistan, Independence Day, Robert Jenrick in northern France, loads of different discussion points. Shanza says it's going to be illegal to be angry before long if it isn't already. Where are all the Pakistani women last night? It's all men partying. That's a good point. I didn't really see that. I've seen a few to make a point. I've seen a few women celebrating. No, but this is my point. It's like, again, you know, fair enough if you... Well, it's not fair enough. I suppose I think I can't even voice my concerns with migration these days. But with regard to Pakistan, you know, I just feel I'm sounding like a broken record, and then keep on saying the same thing about this Pakistani Independence Day. But surely, if they were so patriotic, they were so happy, and Pakistan was so amazing, I'm sure the party last night would have been absolutely amazing last night in Pakistan. I'm sure Islamabad was absolutely popping off. And to be fair, if they're having such great scenes out here and really wanted to get behind Pakistan, I'm sure they'd have been welcomed back yesterday. I'm sure they'd have been opened with open arms from their people, and the party probably would have been 10 times better, you know, to say it. They probably should experience the real thing, the real celebration. Yeah. The Rambling Roma says, I went to school in Barking back in 94. It was nowhere near like the now accelerated by 7 years. It's already gone back then in the early 2000s. London's a cesspit. And I'm going to be in London, by the way, on the 13th of September. Yes. It's been a long-awaited return to the city, which I used to call home. It's been a long time. It has been a real long time since I was in the city of London, so it's going to be interesting to see. It once was very much my favourite city. Someone asked me my favourite city in the world, it was London, but nowadays I can't say. Architecturally, it still looks beautiful, but my goodness me, it has changed a lot. The old smoke, the big smoke, sorry. Swoop says, make Britain British again. I just don't like the delay. And to be fair, there's a lot of countries that we talk about here on this channel in terms of they're going through the same thing as us. But the one thing that I think we're out on our own with in Britain is that it's now offensive to fly the Union Jack and the St. George's flag. Like, I know France have a mass amounts of problem with migration, and their country's a cesspit as well, so is Germany, so on and so forth. But at least these countries can fly their flag and actually be proud of where they reside from and be proud of where they're from. Nowadays in the UK, the St. George's flag and the Union Jack strikes fear into residents in the area now. So you can't fly these flags because it then becomes you're inciting hatred because of a flag. So in the UK, you can't be proud, you know? You can't fly your flag. Well, you can, but you get demonized for it, as you've probably seen with that little girl that was wearing the Union Jack dress a couple of weeks ago, where she got sent home because, again, apparently celebrating being from this country is insulting, but you can celebrate being from and your heritage from every other country, as long as it's not Britain, basically. That's the mantra we go by in the UK, which is always a disgrace. But if I do urge anyone, guys, keep flying that Union Jack high, keep flying the St. George's flag if you're from England, keep flying the St. Andrew's flag if you're from Scotland, St. David's flag if you're from Wales. Actually, you don't know the name of the Northern Irish flag, but the Northern Irish flag if you're from Northern Ireland. And if we've got any Irish ones, fly the tricolour out in Ireland. Keep being proud of where you're from, and yeah, keep flying those flags, guys. And don't let those flags die. They shouldn't. They should be something that you're very proud of, and we really need to get that back in the UK. It should not be offensive for you to fly a flag. Fucking bonkers. Guys, do let me know your thoughts on the great day that was Pakistan Independence Day. Do let me know what you did for Pakistan Independence Day, as it's now a part of British culture, and it's a big day, of course, in Britain by the looks of things, from Birmingham City Council, London and Manchester. Do let me know your thoughts on what you did on the day. Did you have a good celebration day? Like me. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all later in the next